It is my true pleasure and honor to be here for mastering this ceremony for this wonderful book written by Dr. Rai. Writing book is not an easy job. It is one of the very, very difficult job to write a book. Writing 2 pages becomes difficult for us. It is truly creditable that Dr. Rai has put in a lot of efforts in writing the book and bring it to us. We want to start Dr. Rai. To be a writer, you have to be very, very observant and very imaginative. And I think the writer is someone who pays attention to the world. That is why they can write a book. And the book is actually a dream which you hold in your hand. This book is Dr. Rai's dream, and we'll be holding in our hand. And that is really truly amazing work which he has done. So this book is, as you all know, the same is about the diastole in the atrial diastole and some mechanical function. And history of circulation has been in there for a very, very long time. It starts with Hippocrates, and then Aristotle, Galen, Sir William Harvey. So Dr. Rai has created his name in the history by writing a book on the circulation and the heart function. Give a lot of applause for Dr. Rai. As you all know, today is a Father's Day, and there is no better person to say Happy Father's Day than the daughter of Dr. Rai. So I request Dr. Seema Rai. She is an infectious disease working in National Allied System. Please welcome Dr. Seema Rai to say a few words about her father and the book.
Well, thank you so much for being here and showing your support for this book launch. It truly means a lot for me, my family, and most importantly, my dad. Martin Fisher once said, observation, reason, human understanding, and courage. These make the position. I stand here before you to celebrate a huge milestone in my father's illustrious career. In this moment, these words from Martin Fisher ring loud and clear. That researching medicine is just as important, if not more, as practicing medicine. I myself was blissfully unaware till a few years back that my father had been dedicating a vast portion of his time performing such research. Naturally, I was quite elated when he decided to document his lifelong research in the form of this book. To those of you who are unaware, I want to give you a brief background on my father's life. His journey started in Pintos Lane in Bangalore. He is the son of Sanjeevi and criminal lawyer Narayan Rai, and is one of 7 siblings. He was a gifted artist who, at the age of 14, made a portrait of John F. Kennedy, which now resides in the Kennedy Museum in Boston. He was multifaceted and talented from a young age. Not only was he a meritorious student from Bangalore Medical College in India, but he was also an accomplished cricketer who played domestic cricket with the likes of Sunil Gavaskar, Gundappa Vishwanath, and B.S. Chandrasekhar, name it. Due to family obligations, he had to forsake cricket and pursue his medical career. What was cricket's loss was medicine's gain. He went on to do a surgical training in the general surgery residency training program at Brooklyn Jewish Hospital and Medical Center of New York. He then did his chief residency in surgery and fellowship in vascular surgery, specializing in venous diseases at Maimonides Medical Center in Brooklyn, New York. During his accomplished career as a vascular surgeon, he has actively researched chronic venous disease, during which time he developed surgical techniques and went on to invent the Rai catheter, which is composed of 5 different designs. Today, we are gathered to celebrate one such accomplishment of his distinguished career and the culmination of his lifelong research in the form of the book, Mechanical Function of the Atrial Diastole, a New Discovery. The book covers a study which demonstrates dynamic function of the atrial diastole for the first time in the history of medicine, following the revelation of ventricular function by Sir William Harvey. The crux of the study is the discovery of the right atrium as a suction force due to stretching of muscle fibers during diastolic function, thereby creating negative pressure. This research is complementary to the currently accepted paradigm established by Sir William Harvey and completes the understanding of the functioning of the heart and circulation of blood. In conclusion, I hope you will enjoy reading the book, and thank you again for your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Simara, for this wonderful introduction of Dr. Rai. Now, the first cell is running a little late, so we will move on with the next speaker. That will be Dr. M.S. Krishnan. Dr. Krishna, yes, Dr. M.S. Krishna, he is a pediatrician, he is a close friend of Dr. Rai, and he flew from Florida especially for this function. And he's also president of Karnataka State Medical Alumni. Dr. Krishna.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Krishna. I've known Dinker since 1964. We went to Bangalore Medical College together. Dinker is multi-talented. As Seema mentioned, he has been the captain of the South Zone, and he was selected to represent Karnataka State cricket team. Dinker Rai graduated from Bangalore Medical College with distinction, and Dr. Rai has several inventions and publications. He is currently visiting professor at Rajiv Gandhi University in Bangalore. And it's my honor and privilege as a fellow 1964 batchmate, and on behalf of the Karnataka State Medical and Dental Alumni Association, Bangalore Medical College, Dr. Dinker Rai, congratulations and thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Dr. Krishna, for keeping it short but sweet and to the point. Now I'll request our RPQLI president, Dr. Vinay Jayam, to say a few words about the book and Dr. Rai.
Thank you so much, Raj. Good morning, everybody. I just want to say that Dr. Rai was a cricketer and he was a vascular surgeon. He sounds like Kabir Khan. If you know Arjun Reddy or Kabir Khan, a movie was released recently. It was a super hit. Dr. Rai, you may not know this. But anyway, it's my pleasure and privilege and honor to speak today in front of you and talk about Dr. Rai's work. Many of you know I'm a cardiologist, I'm an electrophysiologist, meaning I do procedures through the veins. 99% of my procedures are done through the veins. I've done maybe 15,000 of them. Arterial flow, we know. Venous flow, I know. I call veins or giving and forgiving. It's a different system completely when you look at the plumbing of the human body. Arterial plumbing and venous plumbing are a whole different animal. And that's why I'm so delighted that Dr. Rai was able to shed light on specifically, he honed into the atrial diastole and was able to unravel really mysteries of flow that can only people who are dealing with venous flow day in and day out can actually feel it on a daily basis. So it touched my heart, Dr. Rai. We're also, as I'm a president of RPQLI, as many of you know, and as a proud member of the organization, Dr. Rai is one of us, and it gives us enormous pride to see one of our own to accomplish something and unravel a new paradigm in understanding of vascular medicine. From that perspective, and also from the perspective of being a friend, I know Bangalore, I know Mangalore, I know cricket, I know Gavaskar. So you touched me at so many different points. So Dr. Rai, we're incredibly proud of you. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to address the crowd here today. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay. Now I will request Dr. Muthuswamy. Dr. Muthukumar Muthuswamy is a wonderful bariatric surgeon and chairman of Department of Surgery at Coney Island Hospital. Please welcome Dr. Muthuswamy.
More than all those things, I'm happy to announce that I'm proud one who is here by association. I've been fortunate enough to be known so many people, and for the last 25 years, nothing but extremely pleasant memory and a special word of thanks and appreciation to the ones community. I don't know Sunil Gavaskar. I don't know Kabir Khan, but I know Dr. Rai. Everybody who play cricket, athlete, tennis, everybody says things in their own mind. Everyone is a legend of their own mind. What defines a person? How do you define a superior athlete, superior surgeon, superior human being? In my mind, very few people who are passionate and then motivated and driven. And for example, my close friend Manoj Shetty, who is here, I get an adrenaline high playing. It is, you cannot experience it. You know, everybody hits the ball. You connect the hands, mind, and the brain. That is called an intensity. For example, 25 years back, I was trained twice, came to Brooklyn. I had an opportunity to work with Dr. Rai. Dinker Rai, and we were really working on a complex case. Of course, I was his resident, and he was the attending on the record. And just before the case, he just shut himself off, and he goes into a serious meditation and that focus. And he was 2 minutes, and somebody else, and I was telling him, and another person said, you know what? Very surprising. I've never saw him in the operating room before golf, playing golf. He does the same thing. That is what I'm telling you. He's a friendly man, you know, playing with Sunil Gavaskar or anybody. That kind of intensity, relentless perseverance, and that is what made him who he is. And you know, he's passionate and he's visionary, and 45 years of his professional experience and hard work, and based with the science and working towards it, he is leaving his legacy behind in the form of a book. And that is amazing concept. It's a great work, and I can keep on going for another 10 minutes talking about it for the sake of time. And I want to wish him and his family all the possible good luck, good health, and happiness. And Dinker Rai, sir, we're proud to be say that we've been trained by you, we work with you, we are colleagues of yours, and you know, keep up the good work. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Muthuswamy, for this wonderful speech about the Rai. You bring his students always with Rai. May I request another legend in the room, Dr. Ashok Shah. Dr. Ashok Shah is the world famous head and neck surgeon. He is the chairman of the Department of Head and Neck Surgery at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And he also worked with Dr. Rai when they were together in Downstate. So that is a special personal touch. Thank you, Dr. Shah.
We couldn't have found a better day than today to release this book. This is the most auspicious day for all of us in this room. It's the Father's Day, and especially for Dr. Rai and his family, Zima. That was very touching what you said about your dad. And we all go through the same emotions about our dad. apart from all these professional and personal life, the commitment that Dr. Rai has shown towards his residents, towards the subject of cardiology, and something that most of us don't understand, but who I know that you are in one of the legendary group of people who have made major contributions in the field of cardiology. The majority of us who immigrated here as the first generation have made a major commitment to our family, to our profession, and it is due to our hard work, respect, and the best of the best attitude. And I think that is what distinguishes us from many of the other residents, attendings, and practicing physicians. So, Dr. Rai, congratulations. In the world of cricket, this book is a sixer. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok Shah, for your wonderful comments about the Rai. Now we have very well-known surgeon and my previous chairman, Dr. William Lewis. He will be joining us on the Zoom. So we will bring the laptop here. Can the laptop come here? Okay. Actually, I'll come here. Dr. Lewis. Okay. Okay, right side. Dr. Lois. Hello, Dr. Lois. You're mute. You're on the mute here. Unmute yourself. Dr. Lewis, you have to unmute yourself. You. No. You can unmute. Ask to unmute. No, he's muted there. Okay, now he's on. Okay, Dr. Lois.
Okay, here I am.
Okay.
Yes, the computer actually said that the host had to unmute. So anyhow, we're back on business. Anyhow, it's such an honor to be here today with all of these dignitaries. And it's my pleasure to congratulate my mentor, Dr. Dinker Rai, on the publication of his book. This book on the venous system is his life's work. I had the pleasure to work with Dr. Rai from 1982 to 1987, and as a resident and as a fellow attending from 87 to 2002. He was always enamored with the venous system and the dance of the valves and its relationship with the atrium. Ultimately, when he identified this, I remember how happy he was correlating the atrial dance with the venous valve dance. I actually saw a picture of the drawing he did of John Kennedy at that time. He was walking on air those days. But the discovery of this and all of the work did not happen overnight. He actually worked endlessly for, I can't say how many years, working on the catheter, working on the technique to cannulate the valves, and on innumerable amount of venograms. His understanding of the venous system is second to none. And again, all I can do is congratulate him, thank him for all the insights he gave me and countless other residents when we were under him, and his leadership at what we like to say, the old Brooklyn Jewish community and ultimately the interfaith community. Dr. Rai, congratulations, a heartfelt hug from over here in the Bronx.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lois.
Thank you.
Dr. Lois is the chairman of Brown Children's Hospital. He was previously at Kingswood Hospital, but he was my chairman, and it was great to join Dr. Lois. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, but the person is here. But the Roland person, if you're here. Now, we will invite Dr. Rai to give his presentation.
and say a few words about his journey, his personal journey from how the research started and how it went and all the fine details. Thank you, Dr. Rai. Big round of applause for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very humbling experience for me. I'll try to give a small synopsis of the book, what exactly it means to all of us. Actually, it was first on my consciousness accident. When I became a vascular surgeon in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, 930 beds, active cardiothoracic surgery next to downstate. I was then attending to do vascular surgery means that time only arterial surgery. I remember paying that malpractice insurance. I had 1 month, I had one case, a femoral optical bypass, and I have no cases. Next month, no cases at all. And the patient had ulcer on both the legs, both the feet. And second month, I did the other side. This is how difficult it was. So immediately I had to do something. I started concentrating on the venous side because the leftover feet, those days, ulcers were dressed by interns. Today, ulcer is a big thing because there's a big industry behind it. Nobody gets ulcer patient. It goes to wound care center. Those days, intern has to do the dressing. So suddenly I took interest in ulcers. Next thing I see my office flooded with ulcers, 15 years, 18 years, 20 years duration ulcers. Everybody had a venous stripping. That's all they had. All the venous disease means venous stripping. It was decided by Trendenberg 200 years back. And we are still continuing. Even today, we are continuing the same thing. I'm a great proponent of saving the great saphenous vein. That's my work. It is now coming to be known more and more. It's a hot discussion in all the conferences right now. So I started concentrating on the venous valve disease. Then I had to study the venous valves. So age-old study, descending pleurogram, which was done by a cut down on the femoral vein. We had to reinvent, me and Dr. Tahir. 4 of us in the 1980s joined together. One Kisner from the West, and then Dr. Raju, Dr. Tahiri, and me from the East. We exchanged our notes and we started on the work. Kisner did the first valvuloplasty. Raju popularized it very much. Dr. Tahiri did the first vein valve transplant in the femoral vein. And I was bold enough to do, to tell you frankly, a vein valve transplantation below the knee in the optical vein. Optical vein is untouchable, you know that. Arterial vein, optical vein, portal vein, they're all untouchable veins. It's what we are taught. Don't touch that. Don't do anything. This is how we are taught, right, Dr. Muthuswamy? So I did the first vein valve transplantation. Then I had to study the venous valve. So we invented a descending pleuroplasty, which I written a chapter for the radiologists in the textbook of angiology. I did 500 procedures. And during, that means you put the catheter from the interjugular vein into the femoral vein and study the motion of not motion, valves, whether it's competent or incompetent. While doing one procedure in the early stage, we have to tilt the table. The patient has to be erect. While tilting the table, the whole machine in the Brooklyn joint got frozen. And the whole room was dark. And the patient was in the standing position. Me and my resident just holding him. So dark, can't see anything. My technician ran to the panel. And we are holding the spraying almost. You can actually hear the breathing. We are in the panic. And during that time, only the thing you can see the dark room is green. And this watchtower contrast was caught in the valve. And suddenly I saw the valves are moving. First time I saw that, valve not only moving, it is rhythmically moving with every heartbeat. And I just told my president, look, the valves are moving. The passing observation, we forgot about it. Everything went on well. And after 15 days, it was haunting in my mind in the night. Was this valve moving passively or actively? Question. If it is passively, there must be another force. What is the other force? It is rhythmically moving in every heartbeat. Can you show that? I'll show you that. It's very thrilling when I saw first time. Even now it's thrilling when you see it in the YouTube. See there is the EKG. I can time it to the EKG. You see the valve, the femoral valve, all the valves, the femoral valve. This is a patient with 68 beats. See the valves are moving during every heartbeat. And I could time it to the EKG. It was a very thrilling experience for me. Even now when I see it's thrilling to me. Then I timed the EKG, it was during the atrial diastole, to the period. So I could connect the motion valve to atrial diastole. But I was stuck in the starting block. Atrium had no function forever. We are not going to designate any function in the atrium, except a small function given as Dr. Jaya will tell, atrial kick. Otherwise, they can't do it. The first phase is the reservoir. Second phase, they can't do it. The third phase, they say there's a small kick it gives to increase endosolic pressure, endosolic volume of the ventricle. That's the only function it has. So, to understand my work, so that's why I started doing experiments in the canine heart. I took a heart model in the canine heart, only for the very dedicated president I had in the this thing here. They're very famous virologist now. He used to come and work with me on a weekend. We did all these experiments on a Saturday because I was a very actively practicing surgeon. So we did the experiments. And when he's free and when I'm free, we'll come and do the dissection on the canine hearts. This is how we started it. To give you some understanding of my work, you should know the history of medicine. Otherwise, you have no use. It's very fascinating. Why we ignore the entire, why do we entire medical profession ignore the function of the atrium? It's very intriguing thing, isn't it, for all of us? Why? Two things. I'll give a beautiful insight into the history, very important. I'll take a trip back in the history, 2,300 years. Walk. I can really, to tell you frankly, all these years, I am finding so much into it. I can really converse with Aristotle, converse with William Harvey, converse with Ecopatente, converse with the Parasaurus. All these people are right in front of me. I can talk to them. I can communicate with them. That is my experience. And that's why I can give you insight. Why we missed Aristotle, the greatest philosopher. When he says something, nobody can do. Even if you refute, you have to modify your findings. That's how it is. He's not a physician. He's a student of Plato and also a teacher of Alexander the Great. He was a son of a physician. He was interested in everything. He used to go and dissect on the dead bodies. And that's why he wrote the first book of anatomy. There may be something, that's not relevant for us, but he wrote the first book of anatomy. That is being taught from student to student to student to student. And when Padua became like Harvard University of West, Padua, Ferrara, and Rome, three great universities. Padua is the greatest. You know, why is great? People, who are the people there? Chairman of mathematics, Galileo. Chairman of chemistry, Boyle. And chairman of anatomy is Ecopatente. You can imagine what type of people were there. And he That's why till then it was taught in the curriculum of the Padua is anatomy by Aristotle, philosophy and physiology by Galen. This is what they taught. This is what they learned. So Aristotle, when he did experiments on the heart, this is what he found. It's a naked eye observation. There's no microscope those days. He saw the heart. He saw the two ventricles. Actually, the heart is not an organ of circulation in the heart, okay? Forget about atrium. The heart is not even an organ of circulation. Organ of circulation is the liver. And that's why you in Urdu say you are my colleague. You don't say my heart, right? It came from Arabic words. Anyhow, so when he saw the heart, he saw the ventricles, strong muscles, fibrous tissues, and he cut it off. And he saw that is the heart. And above it, he saw the great sac of the superior vena cava and vena cava on the right side, coming and joining and draining into the ventricle. On the left side, he saw the pulmonary veins joining and draining to the left ventricle. So he said, heart is, this is explanation, heart is the strongest muscle in the body with fibrous tissues. And the great veins, when they join that, makes a pouch. It's an extended pouch. He did not call it an atrium. He said call it extended pouch. And this education went into Padua. And everybody after that concentrated only on the ventricles. So when William Harvey, ambitious British, born in 1578 in Kent, wanted to become the best doctor, he went to Padua, not in England. He went all the way to Padua because there was a celebrity anatomist, Hieronymus Fabricius Aquapendente. I am very much in conversation. You know why? Because he was the first one to find the function of the valves. But all these discoveries are by imagination and observation. He said valves open in one direction, but it was against the laws of Galen. So he modified it. It opens, but he didn't say anything else. It opens in one direction only. Blood has to go upwards towards the heart. If he says it moves only upwards towards the heart, all the teachings of Galen will go away. So he did not say anything else, but he became a celebrity. At the age of 33, he became the chairman of the Department of Anatomy in Padua. And William Harvey comes to learn under him. And what is the first thing he learns? Because he's a celebrity. He was concentrating on the valves. He learned everything about the valves. And then, when in curriculum of William Harvey, he's learning the anatomy of Aristotle. So he never even thought there is atrium. To tell you frankly, he never knew there's atrium. That's why he concentrated on the function of the ventricle only. And one statement is that it's very difficult to understand the function of heart created by the God. You cannot concentrate on diastole and ventricular simultaneously. Henceforth, I shall concentrate on the systole of the ventricles. That's what he said. And he concentrates, and definitely he's the first one to recognize heart is the organ of circulation. Liver is gone out. For 1500 years after Galen, not 1500 after Aristotle, liver was the organ of circulation. You may think this is stupid at the present time. Non-medical people will think it's stupid, or did you think like that? But it's the truth. Only in 16th century, we came to know heart is the organ of circulation. After that, entire world of heart, cardiology, everybody came existed. Today the progress is amazing. So he studied ventricular function. So he discovered the ventricular systole and the borrowed tissue function. He established that the blood moves in the arteries because of the ventricular. But one great thing, he's a genius. For me, he's a genius. Always I say myself to him. I compliment his work. Very, very simple test. Simple test. Nobody can think you can do that. What he did. Very simple. He took a tonic. Put the tonic here. When he put the tonic here, what he did, he put the tonic only as much possibility as the weight. Why? He can feel that the rate of pulse.
That means blood is moving to the the veins are becoming what? My thought, this blood in the artery goes into the vein, most probably. What is this nonsense, all this thinking that blood is lost into the tissue? That's the thinking. Arteries are end arteries, veins are end veins. All the blood goes and disappears into the tissue. And blood is constantly produced in the liver. There is no communication. That's what thinking is like. So one drawing of circulation blood that you can understand. So he said there must be. To confirm that, we did another test. Second time, we put the clothing very tight. Open the arteries and the veins. I hope you're all with me so far, right? How we found that? No radial pulse. That means he has opened the arteries. Now, there is no involvement of the veins. If veins are collapsed, or limb is failed, this made him think that there is a communication between the arteries and the veins. It's the same blood moved from the arteries to the vein. He made that declaration. First time. Nobody could believe it because there is no microscope, there is capillaries is not followed. So nobody could believe that. But it was a statement he made, a declaration. Only after 50 years it's proved when Malpighi came into the scene and found the capillary in the pulmonary circulation by microscope. And they said, my God, this guy is a genius, William Harvey. We did that 50 years back without a microscope. So that is why we came to know arteries and veins are connected to the capillaries. Since then we came to know. It's only 400 years back all these things are happening. So this simple test he established this. But what the mistake he did is he thought ventricular systole is good enough to push the, because it's a closed circuit, it's good enough to push the blood in the arteries and it has to come back to the atrium. So it is one force. That's why he thought venous valves are very important. They are created the venous valves, so the blood cannot go back. So he says to Boyle, he confesses to Boyle. This statement is important for me. He says, but for the knowledge of the function of the venous valves, I wouldn't have been able to discover the function of the ventricular systole. What a big statement. In rheumatoid arthritis, there's only one diagram of the valves. There's nothing else. For me, 400 years back, I found the motion of the venous valves. But for the motion of the venous valves, I would make a statement today in front of you all. I wouldn't have been able to find the function of the atrial diastole. There is a mysterious connection between me and William Harvey, because both our lives, valves played a major role to discover the function. This now completes the function of the basic physiology, right? This is a basic physiology 400 years later we came to know on the heart. That is, atrial diastole is a mechanical function, ventricular systole has mechanical. Now, complete this, what I tell you. We came to know one thing, that ventricular systolic force is only enough to push the blood to the end arterioles. But if it's only for the ventricular systole, there's no, the blood cannot come back in the veins. So we are lost actually at present. We don't have any good explanation. But somehow it's our field in our medicine, we don't see, we don't know. So we gave two adjunctive forces immediately. We said the peripheral muscular contraction must be helping the brain blood to come. And 1972, Bollinger discovered respiration can aid this. These are all adjunctive forces. If there is no muscular contraction, you are lying down 24 hours, your blood is still moving. If you are, I did the experiment on the dog over the chest, the blood is still moving. So what is the force, real force? The atrial diastole. And in atrial diastole, I've made the experiments here. It can get negative pressure up to minus 24 millimeters of mercury. It creates a suction force and sucks the blood back into the atrium. So atrium keeps the blood in motion on the veins, ventricle keeps the blood in motion on the arteries. And this is how the blood circulates. This completes our knowledge, basic physiology of circulation. You have to take out Guyton's ideas.
You have to take out completely stuck. I was stuck. Two things stuck up. One is it, anatomy of Aristotle. Second, the law of muscle contraction by Starling. What he did an experiment on the dog, frogs like this. Every one of you are done. All of you are done. Definitely, physiology. You like to stimulate the frog's leg goes into contraction. You got a curve, and you jump and say muscle contracts. This is stuck in our mind. It was stuck in my mind too. I could not get out of it to give assign a puncture rate to that. One day, God's rate, I got out of it. And then I realized muscle contracts. He said, what applies for the dog, frog's leg also applies to its heart. Because it's striated muscle. No, it doesn't apply. In my experiment, I can show during atrial diastole, it can respond so much that it can create a negative pressure of -24 millimeters of mercury. That means in the heart, during systole, muscle contracts. During diastole, it expands. It is both are active phenomena. There is no passive phenomenon. Actually, as it is said in Ishwashuddha, Ishavasyam idam jagatyam jagat. It says in Indian Upanishad. What is the meaning of that? Ishavasyam idam. This is the abode of the Lord. This universe is the abode of the Lord. In this abode, jagatyam jagat, it is continuously changing. It is not the same. Every moment this abode is changing. What is the meaning of change? Change means something in motion. There is no resting phase in the creation. So why should it be a resting phase for the atrial diastole? It's part of the creation. It's part of the universe. There is no resting phase for the heart. That's diastole or systole. If at all you want to say, between the two phenomena, there's a small pause. When you can say resting, it's not resting. Rest is the imagination of the human mind. Why you say you created the word, that time you feel little more comfortable. That means resting phase, your energy consumption is the lowest. That's why you feel that. Otherwise, there's no resting phase. If I stand for a long time, I sit down to rest. If I sit down, I cannot sit for a long time. I stand up or do something else. I have to keep in motion. Whenever the consumption energy is lowest, that is the time you say resting. But resting is the wrong word that's created. It has created so much problem for all of us. It's resting. Sayasta. So I'll show one slide. Show the how to model our understanding of circuit. By the way, this explains the hold on. This explains the why the valves move. No, voice coming. I have an explanation. What I'm saying is, as the voice is not coming, when the atrial goes into diastole, it sucks the blood up and the valves move open. When it goes into systole, the blood column falls down, so there's a gravitational force, so it closes the valves. So that explains why the venous valves move. It's passive. The secondary into diastole. I don't know. The schedule doesn't come. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I think I'm going to stop here. More, if you want to understand, please read the whole book with the great concentration and contemplate. Because most of the things are new. Don't discard just like that. Give it benefit of doubt what is said. One thing inspired to me in Aristotle's teaching is he makes that statement, and I use it myself. If you find a new fact by experimental means or by contemplation, which is contradicting the old beliefs, then the belief should be modified or if necessary, it should be discarded. This is why I was bold enough to stand in front of all. Initially, it was not easy. Then I started presenting this in conference after conference world over. Then I got the courage to present in front of the cardiologists. So it's not easy. And one of my cardiologist chief, very brilliant guy. When I was getting carried away, I used to tell him, Doctor, so and so, this atrial diastole is very mechanical. So, Dinker, this cardiology, he turned out here a vascular surgeon. Stay out of it, he said. And believe it or not, he called me and said, Dinker, I wanted to call you a long time. I want to apologize. What a humble man he is. So when he comes to know it is different. So it's a very beautiful journey and beautiful experience with all my friends. And let me thank Dr. Bayani for taking the leadership and arranging and putting everything together. My residence, actually, I'm greater than what I am because my residence has become iconic figures in the city of New York. Dr. Muthuswamy is the chairman of he started and everything. And then Dr. Bill Lewis is an iconic figure. He was the chairman of Peace Group, now he's the chairman of Palms Lebanon. And then Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell is his memory nobody can beat. Amazing memory. If I want to recall anything, I ask Purcell. Please tell me, am I right or wrong? Then if you say right, nobody can refute it. He's now the president of the medical staff of one group in the system. I had the opportunity to participate in their learning time. They have become so big. I thank Dr. Purcell and Dr. Krishna, my classmate. MS Krishna, I cannot forget. He never took anything I said seriously during those days. So only after I wrote the book, I came to him. Otherwise, he'll raise his eyebrow. If it's so great, how come you are inventing it? He'll say it. Actually, it happened to me also. Ultimately, one day I read the autobiography of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein operated Brooklyn Jewish Medical Center. I have the history and physical of Albert Einstein. They are throwing it out. I have it even now. He said, when he found that E is equal to MC squared, he jumped into the neighbor's house and ran in and told him, he is a neighbor for such a long time. Listen, Albert, if it is so great, how come you can find it out? He said, he was disappointed. Then he went like this, some other place, he said, listen. Then he got smart. When he had a presence in front of the people, he didn't say E is equal to MC squared. He put 2 pages of equations, one after the one, all of the mind-boggling equations. At the end, he comes and shows E is equal to MC squared. These guys are baffled. And they said, this guy is a genius. And my father told me the same thing. Amma used to call me Amma. He's my inspiration, actually, my father. Today's Father's Day. Let me thank him. Why? Because Father's Day, and also he got the first heart attack at 42, and he did not know anything about the heart. Ironically, I ended up doing something on the heart. I thank Father because he was my inspiration always. He told me one thing. Amma, doesn't matter whatever you know in life. If you cannot explain in 5 minutes, you cannot explain it in 1 hour. But he said, next sentence, but do one thing, don't explain anybody anything in 5 minutes. Go on talking about 1 hour, and end of it, you tell the truth. Thank you very much. Yeah. And also I thank Boston Scientific for sponsoring it, and Mask by Liberty Mask, and my last thank to all of you, all the friends who have come, and my thanks to my wife and my children. Come here at the end and say this is important because he's the one who operated with me on the dogs. And I thought the next day he's going to run away, he's not going to come back.
we had a program where I could be cut next year. So you know how it goes. That's fine. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Rai, for inviting me. Actually, Dr. Rai called me about 2 weeks ago. He said, my answering service called me. He said, there's a Dr. Rai. He says he knows you, but I can't give you a number. So you want to call him. So I said, immediately I thought, there's only one Dr. Rai I know who doesn't know my number. So I called him and he was so excited, just like, he goes on forever. He said that. And then he told me that about the book and everything. And the other day I called him. I said, why are you going to party today? He said, well, this is the time to meet all your friends. That's a great gift for you. And he's right about it. So yeah, he talked about the experiments, Dr. Rai. Those days are really, I remember going on Saturdays and at the end of the day, so tired. And, I couldn't really figure out what he was trying to do, to be honest with you. But I think towards the end, I think we did accomplish something, in the upright position, in the lying position. And with those experiments cannot be done these days. They won't allow it. So it was, all the accidents that happened with the patient, with the machines were breaking down. You saw the venous dance. And his, discovery is amazing. These are the type of discoveries that lead to Nobel Prize. And I can tell you that one of these days it will be recognized. I'm really honored and proud to be associated with him. He's so humble to even mention my name, even though I didn't have anything to do with it. My daughter said yesterday, and she said, congratulations on the book. I said, yeah, thank you so much. I told her, no, it is not my book, it is my mentor, Dr. Rai. And I told her what he has discovered. And it is not appreciated. It may not be appreciated for a few years, but it will, because it is the history breaking. It is part of the history. Thank you.
Dr. Roland Purcell, the president of One Brooklyn Health. Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell is a great surgeon. As Dr. Rai said, he has a great memory. I had the privilege of doing many thyroid surgeries with him. Please welcome Dr. Purcell.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mayani. I am actually the chairman of the medical executive committee of One Brooklyn Health. So that is just to be accurate and for the records. Today is really a very joyous and memorable day for me because I have known Dr. Rai from the time I came to the Jewish Hospital in 1981. And I want to just talk about my personal relationship with him because I learned a lot from him. Because as a younger person, I didn't have the level of self-control that I have today. I think that I was a lot more short-tempered and prone to get angry more easily. But I looked around me and I saw, my attendings and colleagues were older than me, and I learned very quickly that for me to succeed in life, I had to emulate some of the more admirable qualities that I saw in people like Dr. Rai and Dr. Wright and Dr. Lerner and others, because they had achieved a level of self-control. So what we talk about today as emotional intelligence, which really means self-awareness, self-control, impulse control, interpersonal communication skills, empathy, and your motivational skills. And these qualities are of paramount importance in your relationship with your colleagues. And as a matter of fact, they're important in all relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a professional relationship, whether it's just a platonic relationship. They are central to managing that relationship and to ensuring that you get the best out of that relationship. Because if you think about it carefully, relationships are a process of cross-fertilization. You learn from the person, and the person learns from you. So if you don't take the right approach to building and developing that relationship, that never happens. And I suppose that coming from India, which is an old civilization, and although, as I was saying, we played cricket with the Indian team. We played cricket, but we didn't quite understand the Indian culture, and I don't think that the Indian culture understood the Caribbean culture. But as you studied and as you looked at it, you realize that there were very great things about the Indian culture, the mindfulness, the meditation, the self-control, learning to detach yourself from material things. And these are necessary things if you are going to really get to that next level. So I have to say that after all of this, Dr. Rai was quite instrumental in introducing me, nurturing me, and helping me to get to that next stage. Dinker, it's a pleasure working with you. Dr. Rai, it's a pleasure working with you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we will do the book opening ceremony. All the guest person, please come back. Dr. M.S. Krishnan, Dr. Ashok Shah, Dr. Muthuswamy, Dr. Vinny Jayam, I think next, so Dr. Jagdish Gupta, who is the chairman of board of trustee for Atrial Rai, please come here. And Dr. Mrs. Dinker Rai, please come. You should be always with them. Come. If you're not holding the fort, you're not having all this work. Pretty light बंद करना थोड़ा यहाँ का. Pretty. Pretty. Projector light. Oh. All right. So, come. Projector बंद कर. I was going to